Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I am out here taking my walk. So I wanted to hop on here really quick while I'm walking, kill two birds with one stone. We just got past the Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody had a wonderful, rested Memorial Day. I wanted to get on here really quick. There was something that was on my heart that I wanted to talk about. My channel is not a religious channel. I want to just preface with that. I am a Christian, so I read the Bible, read the Bible. So what I'm referencing comes from the Bible, but it applies to anything, and I'll get into that. But in the Bible, there's a story or parable that talks about, the wheat and the tares. And in that, we're going to call this story. In that story, it's in the Gospels, I want to say I've read it in Matthew. I can't remember, it's been a while. But in that story, it talks about the day will come, talking religiously, in Christianity, where you won't be able to tell a real Christian from a fake Christian, just like you can hardly tell a wheat grain from a tare. A tare looks just like a wheat. It's a type of grain. It kind of looks like a wheat to the untrained eye. And so the parable compared that to Christianity and saying, that beware that there's going to be some Christians that look like Christians but aren't Christians, and you won't be able to tell to the untrained eye. And I believe we're definitely living in a time like that of course for Christianity and probably other religions as well, but in life period. Social media has created this fake world, and if you're not careful, you'll get sucked into the tares of the world. People are pretending to be things that they're not, and they can do that well. And if you're not trained to pick up on that, you could get taken advantage of. And one way that I see that, you see people, online. Some are lying, some are not. But some people have wealth that they obtained in bad ways. And so online, they're portraying this lavish, wealthy life that they obtain in a bad way. Now, that's always been going on, but I think it's more in the forefront because of social media, in my opinion. And then, these people who have obtained wealth in bad, illegal ways are living right next door and mingling in with people who have wealth, and they didn't do it in a crime. They worked hard. They either worked hard and went to school and got their degrees and worked hard in their company and walked up the corporate ladder, or they had a business. They worked hard and they built their business, and now they're able to kind of relax and it's kind of running itself. Or they invested. They worked hard on learning how to invest, or however there's many ways to build wealth. But the tares are living right intermingled with them. And when it comes to taking financial advice, because we live in the information world where you get on the internet and you want to find out about things, there can be someone on the internet selling a financial course on how to build wealth, and they didn't build that wealth like that. Maybe they did a little bit of it, enough to say, okay, let me sell this course. I have a little bit of knowledge, but that's not how they completely built their wealth. They may have built their wealth maybe doing something they ain't had no business doing, and here they trying to sell you this $5,000 course on how to get what they got, and that's not how they got it. And that's what I mean. Like, you really have to do your due diligence and researching a lot of things, because a lot of things are not what they appear to be. And more so in the days that we're living in. I believe I've been on this earth a little while, and I don't remember it being so much, so potent, that there's lots of tares in the wheat. Another way that I see that is in the fitness and health industry. We live in a time where you can go lay on a surgical table and get any look that you want, pretty much, which I'm not opposed to. I haven't had any surgery, but I may get that. I'm still working to work things out on my own, but I'm not opposed to it at all. But so you have sometimes, there are these people who've gone and gotten surgeries, and they maybe do a little bit of workout, but the workout training program that they're telling to you is not how they got that body, and so you just have to be completely aware and do some research and just not be so gullible. And I know we all have been at one point in time, but we really have to do our due diligence, do background checks, do all kinds of checks, references, and all that. Like, if you're going to spend your money, I believe if you're going to spend your money, your hard-earned money with someone, you have the right to investigate to make sure they really are who they say they are, to get some references or, contact, I don't know, whatever you need to do. Just to make sure you're getting what you actually bought, because it's scary out here, dating online is, my goodness, my. I say I don't suggest it, but I still dibble and dabble. I'm not gonna lie, I get on there sometimes, I get bored and just see, but I don't look for anything too great online. I just like, okay, let me hop on and entertain myself for a few days and get on off. Is that good? Probably not, but it's what I do sometimes. But if you're serious about your dating life, and I probably wouldn't date online, but if you decide to date online, like, man, you got to do some serious vetting. You have to figure out who this is. There's a whole lot of mess out there, and these people can come up and they're on the scene, and they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're successful, they're doing all the things, they're opening your door, they're chivalrous and all these things, and just one day the bottom falls out and this man is choking you out, and you're like, well, where did this come from? He portrayed himself like such a great person. And can that happen without the internet? Of course. Has that happened all the years back? Of course. But I think we're living in the days where, again, it's just more potent. And there's a whole lot of tares out there. And you really have to be careful. You have to really vet things and get your loved ones involved, people who have your best interests involved. If you're really, truly seeking to meet someone online, get your family members involved, especially the males in your family, to vet them out. They'll tell you right away. If you're younger, you have an auntie or your mom or somebody that you can trust, or older, a woman that you can trust, to you dating this guy, and as long as they have your best interest in mind and you really trust them and trust their word, I would ask them or introduce them to him, and they'll tell you in 30 seconds or less, nah, baby, because they've seen a lot in their wisdom. And one thing that my grandmother taught me when I was a little girl, that there's nothing new under the sun, and that's so true. And so you'll see the same characteristics over and over and over and over again, to where your eyes is trained to see it immediately. So we definitely are in the times of the wheat and tares. There's a lot of tares out there, and that's why I started this channel, because I'm into the real. Are we going to be a little fake? Of course. A person's like, oh, you're into the real, but you got fake hair, you got makeup. Yeah, we ain't going to take it that far. But on the inside, I work to be genuinely what I want the world to see me as. If I want the world to see me as this happy person that cares about people, I really want to be like that on the inside. I don't want to show the world that, but at home I'm hanging cats and being evil to people, you know? I want my insides to reflect what I'm showing people outwardly as much as I can. We're not perfect. We don't live in this perfect world. But if you ugly on the inside and you got this Ronald McDonald smile on every day, smiling and in the soup kitchen line, and you evil as all get out, please, nobody care. I don't care. I don't. And I don't want to be around people like that. And I don't want to be a person like that. So that's what I mean when I say dope in real life. It's just working on yourself, working on who you are or who you strive to be. You may be that person right now. Like yeah, I'm bitter and evil, but I don't want to be that. And that's fine. You just got to decide first that you don't want to do that, be like that, and do the things to change it and be consistent about it, because no one has to walk around being evil and miserable and bitter and scandalous. Can I save the whole world? Heck no. But if I can help one person decide that they're not going to be like that they're not going to be miserable and depressed and evil to others because they're unhappy, or stealing and scamming people because they don't want to do the work to learn the skill for real. Because I don't believe there's a reason for anybody to scam and scheme, especially if you live in America. Now, if you live in other countries, I don't know. I ain't lived there. In America, there's no reason for you to be like that other than you're not willing to do the work. You're lazy. And we ain't have no laziness over here. We dope in real life. On that, I'm going to finish walking my little walk. Y'all have a great evening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.